that our customers prefer. To do that means we must have reliable methods and processes, both in the factory and in the office. And one of the methods that a lot of great companies have used are the 5 S's: sorting, simplifying, sweeping, standardizing, and self-discipline. World-class companies use these 5 S's as a way to organize their work, to make improve safety on the job, improve reliability of machines and equipment relationships. Each one of us has to play a part in making that happen. We can affect the competitiveness of the Boeing company.
Initially, I thought the 5 S's were happy and all.
The thought of working out of a community toolbox didn't seem possible.
And our feeling, or my feeling about it, was we don't have time to mess with this. We have a lot of parts to build and deadlines to meet.
I didn't have a good feeling at the time. I just wanted to do my work, and I thought it was just going to be another program that would come and go.
Currently, I'm glad I have my shadow board. Has all the tools I need to do my job.
So we've had plenty of time to see that it actually does work. So we're pretty excited about it, and it's.
I can go home at night feeling that I've accomplished something rather than looking around for something all day long.
Now everything's very well organized.
Experiencing the results every. What changed their initial opinions about the 5 S's, and what's happened to their work environments along the way? Well, both groups work inside this building, but their work areas and processes are very different. One's a manufacturing area, the other an office environment. With the 5 S's, we'll see some of what they've accomplished. The area's employees started their 5.
We didn't know it. Edge tables. We were storing parts on them. Just about wherever we could put something, that's where it went.
The first step to making changes in the area was the first S, sorting.
It was actually a lot of fun. Everything that we deemed on that floor was just a mirror that we had this weren't real.
In the beginning, it was hard to get rid of things. But when we looked at the reality of the issue, we had to, if we do need it, we need to decide how much for it.
Okay, guys, the first thing we're going to do is the first S, sorting. And the way we'll get started in order to...
Sorting is not a doing so have removed even more unnecessary stuff. The process starts with agreeing on sorting criteria and designating areas for small teams to tackle.
How often do you use it? Do you use it at least weekly?
The team member, if they think an item is not It's tagged with a Post-it note and brought to a holding area.
Sounds good. What are these? We use them?
I don't know what they are. Let's tag them and we'll find out.
Okay, sounds good.
Later,
Okay,
the
excellent
entire
job on
group
the sorting
reassembles
exercise.
and reach agreement on whether the tagged items are indeed unnecessary.
Corner, nobody uses it anymore.
Oh, let's get rid of it.
Get rid of it. 3 boxes of these bolts. These are VG 10K42s. Who uses these?
We do.
Everybody does?
Yeah, we use them on the main landing gear doors. Main landing gear doors.
On the main landing gear door?
Yeah.
How often do you use it?
We use them. Use the box up in a month probably.
A box in a month? So,
Yeah.
But you use them every day?
Yeah.
What do you think? Think we ought to maybe take 1 box and leave it in the area and send the other 2 to surplus? Do that?
Yeah,
Works in the area?
in the back.
Okay, great. Marty, I'd like you to take custody of this and find a proper location to properly identify those. Thank you. Come on, take these. All right.
Every tagged item goes through these same sorting criteria questions. Those that meet the criteria and are deemed necessary by the group simplify so you can do the job efficiently and safely. The landing gear doors employees have created some excellent examples. They designed these mobile work tables for each of the door assembly tools. Attached to each table is a shadow board. It contains and organizes all the tools, drills, and bits they need to work on the door in that position.
When I go to reach for a certain tool, a drill motor, a screw gun, or anything like that, it's right. I know exactly where it is. I don't have to search.
Another shadow board mounted on a cart holds the drill plates that get mounted on the door assembly tool. Some of these plates weigh over 40 pounds, but because of their arrangement on the shadow board, the cart's mobility saves a lot of steps toward carrying a heavy load. The plate and the shadow board acts for the doors to garbage cans and hazardous waste containers.
Here in my
Includes an ongoing visual inspection of their work area.
When I sweep back in place, this is what keeps your area organized. So I visually sweep the area for any motors are missing. They're usually on the bench somewhere. I'll grab them and put them back.
Of course, for a truly clean workplace, physical cleaning is also part of their sweeping routines.
The physical cleanup is a disciplined part of 5S, and you have to clean, you have to sweep. By the way we have our areas set up now, it's much easier. There's no clutter. It's not cluttered. There's not a lot of things around on the floors, everywhere too. So the cleaning is real easy.
Since most of their equipment is on wheeled carts, the group can sweep and clean up more efficiently and thoroughly.
It's an ongoing thing. You can't just say, well, we clean up 15 minutes at the end of the shift. We don't do that. It's ongoing, always.
Standardizing means having a specific process that everyone follows. No variation. That process can change later, but for the time being, everyone sticks to a specific process. That's standardizing.
To assemble the main landing gear door, the mechanics use many different sized fasteners. The group has standardized the order in which boxes of fasteners are arranged on a mobile cart. This order matches the standardized sequence in which they install the fastening are the shadow boards for the 2 door assembly tools. There are shadow boards for both the left and the right doors. The crew designed the layouts for these shadow boards to be identical. This standardization eliminates searching for tools when switching from work on one door to the other. As an outgrowth of their 5S activities, the group has also begun to standardize some of their work processes.
In the past, before the 5Ss, we used to put tools or do our processes in any open space that we had on the floor. Doing the 5Ss has really organized us. We now do our process flow. Our incoming comes in, it's identified, it goes straight into our tools, out of our tools, onto the floor to do the floor work, into seal, into paint. It's almost like a horseshoe effect.
It is not easy to be self-disciplined in the 5S program. It's something that you grow into. It doesn't become natural, but it becomes habit. The longer you work at it, the better you become at being self-disciplined.
Self-discipline is just something that you have to have if it's going to work.
In our case on the FHAs here, if you run out of a certain size of a drill bit, the self-discipline kicks in when you go and you replenish that drill bit supply instead of just sneaking over to the other FHA and stealing one of their drill bits or something like that.
But self-discipline goes beyond the individual. The group has learned that they must work at the 5Ss as a team. This includes getting input from everyone who could be affected by a 5S improvement.
Everyone has to participate in 5Ss. It isn't a one-person thing. It's a group effort. And without the group, you're done.
The group has also learned that their management must play a supportive role, especially when planning for initial 5S implementation. Ray Bracey, General Supervisor for the building, agrees.
In terms of being leaders, it doesn't mean going out and doing it ourselves. It means asking the people how they want it done and then giving them the resources to allow it to occur, whether that's things like shadow boards that we have in the shop floor or tools or what have you, or whether it's time or whether it's money to make things happen.
It's fairly easy to see how much the landing gear door area has benefited from the 5Ss. But you might ask how these 5S ideas apply to people working in office environments. Well, our second group is a case in point. There are 6-person industrial engineering office that schedules the workload for this building. Let's take a look at what they've experienced since starting their 5S activities 8 months ago.
Before we got started, it was a cluttered mess. Racks, folders, books, manuals piled so high on everyone's desk that you couldn't see the top of their desk and you couldn't see each other in this room. It was just mass paper everywhere. It was distracting.
During their initial sorting phase, the group surplused a lot of unnecessary items, including 5 bookcases, 55 binders, 24 recycled boxes full of paper, a desk, a cabinet, and several chairs, all from this small office. As a result, today the office is uncluttered and neat. Reducing unneeded paper is an important component of their sorting. One big paper reduction was achieved by canceling unneeded reports being routed to the group.
We had stacks of reports coming in that maybe an analyst that was here 3 years ago had ordered, and it was still coming in, getting filed. No one in here was using it. It might have been for a 707 spare, only one time that we made the part, and no one needed it, but it was still coming.
The 5-tier trays from all their desktops, an improvement they believe goes beyond mere appearance.
Collectors of useless material as well as needed material.
Developed a number of systems that gets the information they need to do their jobs. The Master 2
group-wise, there's 6 of us here. And I'd venture to say that each of us saves an hour to an hour and a half of time per day.
Okay. Well, Joe won't. A few minutes. Okay, I'll do that.
Thanks to their desk inventory system, when someone is gone from the office, another employee can quickly access. Each employee maintains a form listing the files, charts, and computer disks stored in his or her desk, and where the items are located through someone else's desk. And it allows the group to respond to customers' requests for information when someone is absent. The group has also clearly organized.
We've always used the binders in the office, but what we've done is labeled the binders, color-coded them by grouping, and identified them in a number sequence. We've got red for...
For quick reference, your group is located closest to the individual who uses it most.
The visual sweeping is an ongoing thing. We don't just stop what we're doing and say, oh, it's time to sweep the office. It's just something that we all practice. We want to make sure that we keep
easy to look across the room and tell what's out of place. Across the room and tell what's out of place.
Okay, so also on the order activity.
Thanks to their 5S efforts, the group is standardizing in a variety of areas. An important one is their concept of having only one project out on their desktop at a time.
I find it a lot easier to work during my day with one item on my desk, which was part of our program here. And it allowed me to focus a lot better on my work at hand instead of looking at the terrible backlog I might have for that day or that week.
Standardizing safety procedures was another high priority.
We've established an evacuation procedure, which we have posted on the door, right next to the door. And along with that evacuation procedure, we have a list of those individuals that are members of the group. So the last individual that goes out the door can grab that form and have all the information easily accessible.
Another example of the group's standardizing efforts are the procedure sheets they're developing for their manuals. Posted inside the cover, the procedure sheet outlines how to use the information contained in that manual.
self-discipline means to me that I can't permit files to stack up on my desk.
Self-discipline to me means that I need to take as much responsibility as we set up. For the group as a whole, we do a pretty good job because we know each other a lot better now.
I think we have a new appreciation for each other's roles thanks to the 5S system. We have a new respect for each other, for how we can work stronger if we work.
And also the teamwork involved in making this work.
We're not finished by any means. We never will be. I don't think we ever can reach perfection, but we